Sumer is the earliest known civilization in the historical region of southern Mesopotamia, modern-day southern Iraq. Living along the valleys of the Tigris and the Euphrates, Sumerian farmers were able to grow an abundance of grain and other crops, the surplus of which enabled them to settle in one place. This short trip explains how the Sumerians settled and became more specialized in certain professions.
Hello, and thank you for watching today's podcast dealing with Mesopotamia and the rise of Sumer. As we discussed in our last podcast, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers helped to make Mesopotamia an ideal location for the rise of civilization. The fertile soil of the region resulted in more productive farming, allowing communities to develop permanent settlements. Although Mesopotamia had fertile soil, farming wasn't easy. When heavy rains fell, the Tigris and Euphrates would flood, destroying crops and homes and killing livestock. When water levels were too low, crops would dry up. Farmers knew that they needed to develop a way to control the river's flow. To solve this problem, farmers used irrigation to regulate the amount of water their fields received. By using a series of canals or man-made waterways and ditches, farmers could not only supply their fields with water during droughts, but also protect them from floods by catching floodwaters in large storage basins. Irrigation increased the amount of food farmers were able to produce. In fact, farmers grew so much food that they had a food surplus, or more than they needed. Populations began to increase, and because irrigation made farmers more productive, fewer people needed to farm. New occupations developed, and for the first time ever, people became crafters, religious leaders, and government workers. The type of arrangement in which a worker specializes in a particular task or job is called division of labor. Having people available to work on different jobs meant that society could accomplish more. While the majority of people still focused on farming, other citizens worked as carpenters, butchers, and veterinarians. As the size and complexity of these settlements grew, cities developed, giving rise to the world's first civilization called Sumer. Thank you for watching.
The Sumerians were the first to develop actual written language in 3000 BC. It was called cuneiform. Cuneiform is wedge-shaped marks on clay tablets made by a reed stylus. The first schools were started by the Sumerians. Tuition was paid for and lessons include writing and mathematics. The sons of nobility, government officials, priests, and rich merchants went to school as literacy was a highly valued skill. This tablet, written in cuneiform, is a record of workmen being paid in bia for work done. Sumerians kept records for nearly everything. Sumerians also wrote great stories called epics. The first superhero of all time is probably Gilgamesh. According to the epics, Gilgamesh and his friend Enkidu fought monsters, moved mountains and rivers, rescued people in need, and generally protected the people of Sumer. The Epic of Gilgamesh was written in cuneiform on clay tablets and is preserved at the library in Nineveh. The Sumerians created the first lunar calendar and developed a number system based on 60. This is used for measuring time and in circle geometry. The circle is divided into 360 degrees. Our weekdays are also ruled by the 7 Sumerian gods. The Sumerians had 7 gods as rulers of the planets and are the origin of the 7-day week. As seen earlier, the Sumerians invented the plough, along with the sail, bronze tools, and the wheel. More about the wheel later. They also practiced medicine. The Sumerians used a combination of natural healing techniques and surgery. They used plants and mineral oils. They also carried out brain surgery. This skull shows 3 holes drilled into it, carried out during Sumerian brain surgery. The Sumerians built many structures, but their most impressive display of their architecture was the ziggurats, which were temples shaped like step pyramids. Long staircases led to the platform and shrine at the top. Last but not least, my favorite invention, the wheel. The first wheels were not used for transport, but as a potter's wheel around 3500 BC. It took about 300 years for them to be used in chariots and other forms of transport. If it wasn't for the Sumerians, I would not be able to travel the world doing my favorite sport, BMX. Thanks for watching.